It takes some work not to sigh. There seems to be at least a little bit of technical knowledge mixed up with what he said, but the rest of it is so laid back that I can't tell if he's an amateur or really easygoing hobbyist or what. Well, I suppose that the first step would be to take a look at the land and to plot out a rough idea of what parts of your yard you want to work with. If you have a lot of room, that does mean you intend... Then... What? If you have a lot of room, then does that mean you intend to do a themed garden? Or something more like Western-style home landscaping? He tilts his head to the other way and then shrugs.
Is this a person or a dog?
I think he's a large puppy.
He is a dog demon?
Yeah.
Like Inuyasha.
Yes.
Probably something Western style. I haven't tried any kind of gardening like that before. And since I have a big yard anyhow, why not?
Oh. Damn it, don't say things that pique my interest and then just shrug like you're fine with it no matter how it turns out. That does things to my instincts as an artist. She's getting her art boner. Right.
Getting the art boner on.
2 more things. First, it's not like my pricing is super exorbitant, but given the amount of stuff you're buying, are you sure you want to hire me on top of that? Manager is giving me a kind of sidelong look, probably because of how direct I'm being, or the insinuation that she's forgetting whose money she's spending. But our customer here seems to be kind of spacey, so I bet it's best to be safe.
Nope, money isn't a problem.
That's good. And last of all, but probably most important, I tend to have opinions about the way things will look best. They're strong opinions. I'm fully aware of this, so I can try to restrain myself to some extent. But if you get the feeling that you've started to nudge your garden into something that's not to your taste, you don't necessarily have to defer to me. To be really blunt, if I ever get unprofessional enough to get carried away, try to head me off when I get started. I'm saying this for the sake of my salary as well as your own aesthetic vision here.
At least she's honest about this.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine how much it would suck. You hire someone to fucking help you, and then halfway through they're like, no, you can't plant that. Why? It's my house. Because it looks bad.
Yeah.
Like, well, maybe I want my mouse. Jesus, English is hard today. Maybe I want my house to look like a hot mess. You don't know that.
Even so, Spoon just laughs.
Maybe I want to plant a fucking tree next to a table. Do you fucking know my life?
Mm-hmm.
That actually sounds really interesting. I don't have what you'd call a real plan, so if the garden winds up something of a mixture of both our tastes, that's a lot of ofs to me. Then it'll be fun. It seems like a lot. And it'll be fun waiting to see how that turns out. I think I've been writing too much. Besides, I'll have to defer to your knowledge of what works best in the climate here anyway. I haven't been in... Help me. Hokkaido for very long.
I figured as much given his unusual appearance and his inflection. But yeah, I guess that explains some things. Along with raising even more questions like why the heck he even moved to a place like this if that's the case. Also, is it really that okay for you to be careless with the place you're going to be living in for probably a long while?
Well, I mean, as long as you aren't planting trees, it should be fine. Just don't plant anything that'll fuck up the foundation.
Yeah.
Hashtag, I have plant knowledge, kind of.
It's a garden. It's going to cost a lot if you decide you want to dig things out and rearrange them later, you know? Well, I have enough confidence in myself that I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, as long as our tastes don't clash too badly. Okay, then. It might be rude to manager to say so like this, but getting my hands into the dirt is a million times more interesting than register work, so I have no problems with taking this job on. Wait, as one last thing, how much gardening experience have you got, Spoon?
One sec, girl, look at my ass.
He looks a bit startled and then begins to laugh.
I got a great ass.
I think I can see his face coming up red.
I know I'm hiring you, but you don't have to talk to me that formally if you don't want to. It feels kind of weird coming from someone my own age.
It's kind of weird to see your face with the stripy things.
Yeah. As to your question, I have a little experience. I guess he's a demon.
Either he's being modest or honest, I can't tell.
He's being modestly honest.
Mm-hmm.
Or honestly modest.
An upside is that in either case, it probably won't have to constantly be on the lookout for beginner mistakes if he knows how to work soil and plant. Alright then. Once you're done getting what you need for today, I'll ring you up and then we can go get started right afterward if you don't mind. There will be planting and such before we can actually get into the real gardening part after all. Manager has already addressed me, and you can probably read my name tag just fine, but to introduce myself formally, I'm Mo, and I'll assist you with the best of my ability. I nod to him more than bow. Even though I'm going to be his assistant landscaper, since he's already expressed discomfort with formality, it doesn't feel like I have to be too stiff.
I'm Spoon. You could just call me Spoon, or hey you. As long as I can tell you're talking to me, it doesn't bother me at all. I am Spoon.
That's a
forks.
YouTuber.
That's true, isn't it? Please take care of me. Can I just leave it at that?
I mean...
I'm
yeah.
Spoon. Take care of me.
I'm a puppy. Bark, bark, bork, bork.
Bark, boof.
You're doing me a frighten.
No!
He actually does bow from the waist, if shallowly, and then holds out his hand for me to shake. When I reach out and take it, his palm is covered in a fair amount of calluses. Regardless of his airy attitude, this feels like a pretty competent hand.
I don't know why, but I thought that sentence was gonna go like it's covered in hair.
Okay.
I have no idea what my brain is doing.
I'll be at the register soon. Oh, this is you. You say it.
Okay, I'll be at the register soon.
Spoon says this and steers his cart back into the gardening section of the store. Manager is staring at me with her eyebrows upraised.
Upraised?
Yes.
That just seems like I just would use raised.
Mm-hmm. Am I about to get lectured for being too brusque or something? Kumomi Saho places her hands on her hips and laughs. Oh, so Saho is her name.
Oh, well that would explain why I wasn't getting any translation.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been employing you for years, Mo, and I wouldn't keep hiring you if I cared more about your manners than about your skill level. I was just thinking, it's nice to be young, isn't it? Go hop that dick.
Huh? If you say so, manager. Middle-aged people. I turn away and get back to the register before she can make any other vaguely condescending remarks in my general direction.
I wouldn't know if that was vaguely condescending, but...
I wouldn't say it was condescending, I would say it was suggestive.
Yeah. Okay, here's everything.
Spoon gives me 2 carts worth of basic tools and a few bulbs and such to ring up, and this time I come with him to make sure that he's not leaving anything behind. We wheel everything straight up to his motorcycle next to the sidecar, and he begins to load things in carefully. Before I can try to get him to let me help, since that should be faster, he says to let him do it because it'll be easier for him to make it all fit if he organizes things. And even though all I can really do is bite my tongue to keep from going, yeah, sure, he really does finish up in less than 10 minutes, and there still ends up being plenty of room in the sidecar in the end. I'd never have thought you could squish all that stuff in there and still have this much room. Maybe I'll tell Shiyu that this guy has mastered the art of hammer space. She'd like that. Nice packing skills. But that's all I say aloud.
Ow, fuck.
What the hell? Are you okay?
I had to let my cat into the room. My headphone cord is not as long as I thought it was.
Oh.
I almost yanked my headphones off my head.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Damn it, Cassie.
Daiya just beams back at me.
The Spoon.
No, Spoon just beams back at me. Sorry. So anyhow, I'll go get my bicycle and we can head out and get started. Spoon tilts his head.
I don't know how well you'd be able to keep up with my bike, and I'm really bad at giving directions. My house is on the very edge of town. So getting there could take a while. it might be better. It might fucking what? It might be a better idea for me to just give you a ride, and then I can drive you back when you're done for today. You loaded up the sidecar with shit. What she's gonna do? Sit on top of a hoe?
Apparently.
There's plenty of room in the sidecar still, but you had like 2 carts of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot.
Well, he's got a point. How big is his sidecar?
Yeah, like exactly. Does he have
Or how small are the carts?
Yeah, like does he have a sidecar the size of a minivan? Like, does he have 2? Does he have like a train of sidecars?
That'd be really funny. Like just imagining that driving down the road with a train of sidecars following him. They're not even attached. They just like magnetically follow.
They're not even attached. They just kind of slowly drift afterwards, bumping into each other. They're magnetized.
Yeah. I can bike pretty quickly if I do say so myself, but my legs alone can't hope to beat an actual engine, and I'm not familiar enough with the outskirts of town to be able to trail in behind on some vague directions. As to practical concerns, like going somewhere with a guy I don't know well to a place that I don't know the directions to, my sense of direction is good enough that I'll be able to orient myself and remember the way if I pay attention where we're going. I also have my cell phone, and even though I'm a bit rusty, I'm confident that I can take a guy Spoon's stature in a fight unless he's significantly more skilled than I am in mixed martial arts. I guess I'll take you up on it just for today. I should be able to find my way on my own from tomorrow onwards, though. Geez, staring at this guy's constant dopey smile is like staring into the freaking sun. He digs in one of the motorcycle saddlebags and comes up with a sleek, black-visored helmet. He hands it to me and then mounts the seat, keeping one foot on the ground as he pulls his goggles down over his eyes.
Generally, in my limited experience with motorcycles, being that I've never actually ridden one, but generally the saddlebags on motorcycles aren't big enough to contain an actual helmet.
Oh, I didn't
Usually,
know that.
Like that'd be something like he'd leave in the sidecar. Some people carry it with them inside wherever they go, or they'll leave it on like the handle, depending on how expensive, because those things, they can get upwards of like $200.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's not something it's not like, does he have a collapsible helmet? That's not safe.
Wait a minute, there's something a little bit weird about this scene.
Yeah, he has a hammer space, like an actual hammer space.
Yeah. He's really a demon. Shut up, phone. Shouldn't you be wearing one of these too? I gotta pose, hang on.
Yeah. One sec, let me show you my ass. Let me distract you with the booty.
Spoon looks over his shoulder at me as if he's got no idea what I'm even talking about.
Huh? Nope, I don't really need one. Already brain damaged.
You sure seem to think I do.
Well, yeah, if we got into some kind of accident, you could hit your head, and then you end up like me. I know I'd be able to protect my head, but I don't know about, wow, honey, I don't know about whether or not you could. So it's safest to make sure you wear a helmet anyway. I'm not going to mention there's a picture online that's pretty good reason to wear a helmet, and that...
Don't even, nope. Abort.
Well, it's of the helmet itself, but you can see that a good inch has been sheared off.
Yeah.
Just in being scraped across the ground, and it's like, oh god. So if you can protect your head from that, bro, then yeah, you are a demon.
I kind of don't know what to say to that. This is the kind of confidence that's charged straight through the realm of recklessness into sheer stupidity.
Accurate.
This is rapidly turning into the misadventures of Spoon, the super airhead, or something like that. I'm sure that's what she would have to say about this.
Spoon, the does not exercise proper motorcycle safety person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure not going to argue with you about my own reflexes, and I guess the risks of your running with your health and getting yelled at by the police are your business. So I put the helmet on and he poses. Traffic safety aside, it'll probably be a lot easier on my ears if I've got this thing between me and the obnoxiously loud engine.
Oh, that's true. She's gonna be sitting right next to it, basically.
Mm-hmm. For a while, because they have to go to the outskirts of town.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It takes a bit to figure out how to wear the thing without crushing my hair into my face and the nape of my neck uncomfortably.
Just sneeze on my new purse!
the cat just sneeze on your purse?
She just sneezed on my brand new purse twice.
Amazing. But I managed to work it out.
It's 3 times. Sassy. Anyway, sorry.
The inconvenience of cats.
The fucking, what is she doing? She's over there sneezing her head off. Okay, never mind.
Spoon shows me where to sit so that I'm not crushing anything delicate with my feet. I seriously cannot believe how much room there is in this little thing.
He has hammer space.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all ready?
Yeah, sure.
Brace yourself. This will be a little bit noisy.
And he revs the engine with the sound like Armageddon. Oh my god, that is the single most ridiculous noise I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, Steven Tyler's singing can be a bit much.
Please do not let me be going deaf over this. When I look at Spoon, where he sits next to me, his gaze is on me even though he's facing forward.
What?
His eyes are just pointed at her.
Does he have, like, snail eyes?
I mean, that's not completely unreasonable.
I mean, well, I'm just trying to think of the position of, like, the sidecar, where they usually are in relation to where the driver is. And generally, that's not, like, line of sight you can get by just glancing to the side.
I guess. Maybe it's a special one, I don't know.
I'm overthinking.
As usual, he's got a happy look on his face, but unlike his normal spacey expression, there's a spark of something like determination or interest in there now.
He's gonna see if you fly out of the sidecar, bitch. Run.
He's going to save all the monsters. Determination.
Now it's gonna fly like Hagrid's motorcycle.
His lips move briefly. I can't hear him over the noise of the engine, but I think he probably said something like, "Let's go."
You're gonna die.
Yep, rip us. And I can feel the entire motorcycle vibrating underneath me as we start to move forward. Bikers have kind of an impression of being daredevils about carrying them with safety, but Spoon doesn't just floor the gas, as it were, and leap out into the road. He speeds...
I would say, not to interrupt, because I know I do that, and I'm sorry, but I would say, yeah, he kind of has a disregard for safety not wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
He speeds up gradually like any driver with common sense, and when he isn't specifically accelerating, the noise of the motor goes to a level that's just about bearable for me. Peeking at his profile surprises me. For once, he isn't smiling. He has a blank, focused-looking face on, and watches the road closely. Somehow, it doesn't seem like he's a really risky driver, at least when he's got a passenger and gardening stuff in his sidecar.
Them plants are important, yo.
Yep. That's a little bit relaxing to know, so I'm able to turn back towards the road and watch where we're going. We go down a number of different roads, and after a couple of turns, we're visibly heading for the bare outskirts of the town. I guess the impression that a lot of Japanese have about the whole Tohoku and Hokkaido area is that it's kind of backwater, but we really do have a enough number of cities, big cities to get along with. I'm just missing words now.
You could just blame it on me, because, like,
it's fault.
It's all my fault. Look at the issues I've been having this entire time.
Yeah.
It's just contagious now. Sorry.
We'll persevere.
Persevere.
The town that I live in isn't anything like that, though. It's got suburban center, then spreads out into farmland and countryside at the edges. There's good things and bad things about that. Obviously, it's good that there's farmland and all, because there isn't much of that in our country. Then again, there are some things that can only be done in a city. Our town is tiny and small-moving. I've become conscious of the fact from all the times I've had to go down into Honshu for school trips and art things. I really like the more active, progressive attitudes of city-dwelling people. But I think I'd eventually become claustrophobic from the lack of nature in big cities like Tokyo. There's a reason that I want to design landscapes along with buildings. I want to see natural land with my own eyes instead of just having a couple photos and paintings on an apartment wall. That's one of the other reasons I've always wanted to travel overseas. Maybe somewhere in a country like Italy or France, there'll be a place that has the right balance of beautiful scenery and activity for me, and I could vacation there for long stretches or even move there for the sake of a good working environment. It's been a while since I've thought about how much I still want that. The town moves past us at a pace a little too fast to be called leisurely. Spoon, a guy who behaves nothing like anybody else in town and carries a weird sense of being out of phase, drives his loud, obnoxious motorcycle with something like wistfulness in his profile, while his bright blonde hair whips around in the wind. I try to hold as still as I can to keep from stepping on anything, watch my tiny town go by, and admit to myself that I do like the sensation of the wind in my hair. The buildings get sparse after a while, and then finally Spoon pulls up to one lonely house that's at least a block away from the last one. The only reason that I don't immediately guess that this used to be a farmhouse is because it's a Western-style building instead of a Japanese style, and because even though there's farmland quite close by here, the land immediately surrounding the house is all yard. It seriously looks like something from a picture of rural suburban Europe or North America. There really is enough room to do up a Western-style garden the way that I've always wanted to try. Spoon parks right in the middle of the drive, and the noise of the motor finally disappears. I pull off the helmet while he's getting out of his seat, shake out my hair, and try to catalog my hearing. My ears are ringing just a little, but I mean just a little? You were sitting literally next to the engine.
Yeah, I mean, I've just listened to my dad's friends rev their motorcycles, and it's like, oh god, the world's ending.
But I don't think I've gone deaf just yet. I can still hear Spoon's footsteps on the ground. I almost want to start on a litany to the Amida Buddha, but for one thing, I'm not really a Buddhist. I just know Namu Amida Butsu and the Heart Sutra like every other person in town. And for another thing, that would be a little bit mean.
Yeah, it would be kind of mean. Like I can picture it though, getting out of the sidecar and then like immediately
kissing
dropping to your dropping to your knees in prayer, like, oh god, I lived.
Yes, I'm glad Spoon's not blowing my ears out anymore, but he's safe enough driver for me. If he'd been speeding, well, then maybe I'd want to heckle him a little bit.
Well then, come on inside. I've got a map of the house and such that we can mark up as to what goes where. Just let me get everything indoors. Would a map of the house really include what's outside?
His map does.
He's got a fancy ass fucking map, yo.
Yep.